Lin Tion looked at them. These so-called Imperial Knights seemed quite weak. And Dursus, level 53, race, human, profession, Imperial Knight, title, Defender of the Homeland, Honor Knight, Charismatic Leader. Health, 930, Strength, 240, Defense, 287, Skills, Silver Light Slash, Sword Resonance, Sword Dance, Power of Glory. Equipment, Fine Silver Armor, Fine Alloy Longsword Cloak. Overall, 1,000, although his attributes were not bad. Overall, he was only slightly stronger than Loader at level 40-something. After all, Loader was of Imperial blood and a disciple of the Sword Saintess. His skills were quite ordinary, indicating he was just an ordinary knight commander. Lin Tian thought he was a formidable enemy. The others had power levels around 900. The upgraded second-generation elite goblins each had strength around 700. Being surrounded by them, it was already impressive to last 3 minutes. Currently, Lin Tian's power level was at 1,500. He had perfectly mastered the skills of the elemental hand crossbow and no blade capture. His strength had surged quickly. Relying on these useless people to save you? Loader, it seems you are too naive. Lin Tion couldn't help but mock. The Silver Blade captain lowered his head, sighed, and said, "Indeed, we were too naive. From our brief encounter, I realize you are an extremely terrifying opponent. If left unchecked, you will be a disaster for the Empire. But fortunately, the Sword Saintess will definitely come to deal with you. She is the Empire's holy sword of protection, and she will cut down you monsters." The other team members also said, "That's right, the Sword Saintess will soon come to sweep you away." Still a little fanboy of hers, Lin Tion found it somewhat amusing and glanced at the remaining few people. He drew the short sword from his waist. The Silver Blade captain tensed up. What are you going to do?" "Wait! Stop!" Swish! On the spot, Lin Tion started bleeding one of the humans. Zzz. The moment the neck artery ruptured, blood spurted 10 meters away. He marveled at the heart, this miraculous pump. "Ah! Captain, save me. I can't breathe." The human spoke in pain, soon falling into shock from blood loss. Ads by Pub Future. Lin Tion then called over the highest level elite goblin, also a goblin assassin, and had him devour the human's flesh and blood to level up quickly. After devouring it all, the goblin reached level 48, still 2 levels short. Lin Tion continued, killing 2 more people as if slaughtering chickens and dogs. Unfortunately, he didn't even gain 1 level. The experience requirement was getting higher and higher. He estimated he would need to devour 7 or 8 level 40 to 50 people to evolve into an elite. Goblins, as long as they had sufficient aptitude, evolved at levels 30, 50, 70, 90, and 100. But there were also cases of evolution failure. Watching his team members die one by one, the gap between the Silver Blade captain and Loader became very clear. He was very calm, not yelling or screaming. After all, he had been on the Imperial battlefield, accustomed to life and death. He simply said, "It's a pity, Sword Saintess. They ultimately couldn't hold on until you came to rescue." Reality differed from games and anime. Falling into enemy hands, 9 times out of 10, the result was death. Hope was just wishful thinking. This was the cruel reality. Lin Tion also admired the Silver Blade captain, giving him a swift end. Rest in peace. Then, he let the goblin eat him too. Concentrating resources whenever possible was the best way to cultivate new hero variants. The creatures in the enchanted forest had been killed clean, leaving no source of experience. This was Lin Tion's current biggest headache. "Bastard, I won't forgive you. I definitely won't forgive you." Loader had completely lost his mind, barking like a mad dog. Lin Tion's ears were getting callous from hearing it, so he knocked him out. Then, he mounted the dragon and prepared to check out the situation in Bright Town. If the sword saintess really came, things would be dangerous. At dawn, Bright Town was already bustling. The members of the Battle Roar Regiment were chatting and laughing in the tavern. They hadn't slept all night to guard against a dragon attack. Early in the morning, they even had a glass of whiskey to refresh themselves. Very fitting for the wild and bold Battle Roar Regiment members. Those guys are too useless, aren't they? Gone for so many days and still haven't dealt with a few goblins, ha ha. The Battle Roar captain laughed. He clinked glasses as he spoke. At this moment, a strange gale rushed towards Bright Town, arriving above the town. Thud! Suddenly, a spear-wielding man fell from the gale, covered in blood, missing a leg, and with several broken bones from the fall. The townspeople were frightened out of their wits. They even thought it was a monster invasion and scattered in all directions. The spear-wielding man struggled to stay conscious, crawling forward despite his broken bones, refusing to stop. Eventually, he collapsed in exhaustion. From afar, the sword saintess spotted him. She leapt several steps into the town and reached his side. She carried him to the tavern. Sword saintess, what brings you here? Would you like a drink? The Battle Roar captain stood up quickly, but his expression changed drastically when he saw the spear-wielding man in her hands. Everyone hurried over to check. The healer immediately began casting healing spells. The Battle Roar captain was incredulous. Weren't they going to deal with goblins? How did they end up like this? Anyone would think they had gone to slay a dragon. The sword saintess said, I don't know either. I saw him fall from the sky and then faint. Soon, the spear-wielding man finally woke up, but he was still very weak. Everyone asked seriously, what happened? Where are the others? How did you end up like this? Cough, cough, sword saintess. Have you stayed up all night again? You really work hard. The spear-wielding man coughed, blood, and clots pouring from his throat. The sword saintess quickly took out a high-level recovery potion, intending to heal him. But he refused, saying, My injuries are too severe. It's no use. Sword saintess, you must go save the captain and the others. They were captured by a group of goblins, including 2 hero variants, dozens of elite goblins, probably from a super-large tribe. Moreover, be very careful. These goblins are unusual. Each one is twice as strong as a normal goblin. Cough, cough. He coughed a few more times. The Battle Roar captain frowned and said, A super-large tribe? That doesn't make sense. 2 hero variants and dozens of elites shouldn't be able to capture them. They're just goblins. Hey, hold on. At this point, the spear-wielding man couldn't hold on any longer. His eyes rolled back, and he died a tragic death at dawn. The sword saintess looked at him and sighed. After all, he was a knight of the imperial family. How did he get injured so badly? A severed leg, multiple sharp weapon wounds all over his body, even his lungs. It seems these goblins have iron weapons. Damn it, the last survivor of the Wind Spear family, and he died like this. The Battle Roar captain said angrily, looking at the spear-wielding man's corpse with deep sorrow. He couldn't believe that the Silver Blade Knight Regiment had fallen at the hands of a group of goblins, a group of low-level monsters that they usually wouldn't even care about. Just moments ago, they were laughing and joking, and now they had been severely humiliated. The other team members were also puzzled. Even with 2 hero variants and a group of elites, they shouldn't have ended up like this. They didn't even have a chance to escape. Damn it. Let's go wipe out those damn low-level beasts. The Battle Roar captain, furious, swung his double-bladed giant axe and was about to charge out. But the team member stopped him. Wait, Captain, didn't he just say? These goblins are unusual. We can't act rashly. To hell with that. I want to chop off all their heads and shove them up their asses. The Battle Roar captain was so angry that his fist crackled. Ads by Pub Future. At this moment, the sword saintess spoke. Calm down, everyone. If you leave, I can't protect the residents from an invasion by 2 ancient dragons and a large group of wyverns. There might even be a goblin sneak attack. But Sword Saintess, are we just going to sit and wait? If we're too late, the Silver Blade Knight Regiment will be wiped out. The Battle Roar captain sat down, frustrated and angry. Going was not an option, nor was staying. The Sword Saintess was also in a difficult position, finally saying, "You should hurry back to the capital and bring more reinforcements. Then, I will personally slaughter those goblins and dragons. All you need to do is guard Bright Town. But if we do that, won't the Silver Blade Knight Regiment be?" The Battle Roar captain still wanted to say something. A team member stopped him. "Do you think they still have a chance of being alive? The condition of the man who returned proves it. The spear-wielding man couldn't even survive the escape. If captured, some goblins had probably already digested the others and excreted them." Hearing this, the Battle Roar captain finally calmed down. "Sigh, all right, let's do that. For now, leave the rescue of the Silver Blade Knight Regiment to me." Suddenly, a cold voice spoke. The speaker was Kasimov, the leader of the Death Knight Regiment, the only survivor of the Battle of Death Valley. His strength far exceeded that of the other leaders. The Sword Saintess looked at him and said, "Are you sure you want to go alone?" An entire knight regiment was defeated. In Death Valley, I faced 4 Titan warriors alone and survived. A group of goblins. Even if I can't defeat them, they can't harm me, Kasimov said, taking off his pitch-black helmet. Everyone was shocked when they saw his true face. No hair, full of burned scars, crisscrossed with knife scars on his face. He looked like a terrifying monster, unimaginable what kind of battles he had survived. The Battle Roar captain laughed. "Ha ha ha, I knew you wouldn't let us down. But to boast in front of the Sword Saintess, you're too arrogant. I wouldn't dare compare myself to the Sword Saintess, but dealing with trash like you is easy," Kasimov said disdainfully. The Battle Roar captain was so angry he wanted to rush over and punch him, but his team members held him back. Then, without wasting time, Kasimov mounted his horse and headed deep into the enchanted forest. Not far outside Bright Town, on a high mountain, Lin Tion was observing while riding a bipedal dragon. Kasimov, level 60, race, human, profession, Desperate Knight, gains a 30% attribute buff when alone. Title, Survivor of Desperation, Kingdom Protector, Honor Knight, Bearer of Mission. Health, 800, Strength, 310, Defense, 303. Skills, Death Roar, Grim Reaper's Harvest, Knight's Glory. Equipment, Black Iron Armor, Black Iron Longsword, Black Cloak. Overall, 1300. From a distance, Lin Tion understood. Humph. This strength is not bad, but thinking he can wipe us out alone? Isn't that too naive?